I just need a coffee. Show's about to be on in about 25 seconds, but I need a coffee before it is, all right? If you see a little cup there, you know what's happening, all right? First letter tonight. And we do have a terrific panel tonight. All your favourites, all my favourites, so it should be a good show. First letter tonight. What's the key to a happy marriage after the kids have left? And please don't give me the rediscovering one another stuff because it hasn't happened for us. Second letter tonight, I think it's high time Queensland and Western Australia seceded from the rest of Australia. Someone who doesn't want to sail away in a boat by himself, but should. And the third one, my girlfriend wants to be a rock chick, or a movie star, or a supermodel. Someone with her head screwed on where it shouldn't be. All this, terrific panel in about 20 seconds. See you soon. Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Yeah.
2, 1. Here we are, we're on. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half hour. Terrific lineup tonight. You love them all. They're all your favourites, I know, because you emailed me and tell me. First up, from the Channel 9 Sports Desk, hello Marcus.
Hello Mitch, good to be back with you, with a couple of fiery females either side of us, as per usual.
Yeah. Did you have some fun in the green room?
The green room was great, yeah, it was always watching Max and listening to Max tell some stories.
I want to know how come you were late tonight, mate. Were you cooking dinner for people or something?
Yeah, no, I did some spaghetti bowl for the family, and given they're big MasterChef fans, they played up. They tell me to plate up, and they gave me about 6 out of 10, which
6 out of 10 for spag bowl.
Well, they're harsh markers. I reckon they are.
Sure
How are the twins, mate?
They're very well, except their skirts are getting a bit too short for my liking, but I'm sure that's part of
They're
yeah.
How old are they now?
9.5.
Wow.
So
Fantastic.
5 years from now, I'm in all sorts of trouble.
Absolutely, mate. The worrying's going to start. Good
Exactly.
to have you back.
Yep.
Well, mate, God, tracking you down and getting you on the show, isn't that a bloody hard thing to
I'm
do?
always sick lately.
No,
Sick,
you're always
sick,
busy.
sick. Oh, yeah, busy and sick.
Busy in bed, sick.
Busy, yeah. Oh.
You're taking that vitamin C yet?
I like the way you put that. No, I'm not taking any vitamin C.
Why not?
I just haven't got around to it, Gary. I'm slack.
All right, you've been too busy.
I've been too busy in bed.
Too busy
sick.
in bed. Too busy in bed. Good to have you back, Theresa. Hello, Des.
Hi, Mitch.
Happy name day for yesterday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, my mother told me to say.
This is a Greek thing.
It is a Greek
yeah. No, it was my Saint's
Actually,
Day.
what?
It was my Saint's Day. So my name is Despene. So it was 15th of August.
You're Saint Despina. Is there a Saint Despina?
Well, it's actually the Virgin Mary. It's sort of
It's
the funny
Our
year.
Lady.
It's Our Lady's.
Our Lady.
It's Our Lady's Day.
Yeah, funny
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
I know.
Terrific.
It's hard to look at me and think of it
She wrote it.
as Our Lady or the Virgin Mary. I know. It's a difficult
My
thing.
wife learned all about section in a school. Our Lady of Perpetual Headaches.
Max Kay, welcome back, mate.
No, how are you?
And hello to
What
Norma
lovely
too.
company we're in.
Yeah, good panel
Isn't
tonight.
it great?
Yeah.
Yeah, I nearly never came here tonight. You know, I had real
Because?
trouble at home. I said to my wife, "How about a quickie?" She said, "As compared to what?" Okay.
How's the lovely Norma?
She's marvellous. She
All
really
right.
is. I hope she's not watching this. Is she? Oh, sorry, darling.
Monday nights. We're going to 9:30 now. too.
9:30
Oh,
on
you
Monday
are?
nights.
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
that mean we have to clean this up?
Wow.
Yeah, it does actually.
Oh, it does.
It does.
I've
Yeah.
been watching it.
Well,
That's
watch what
it
you
was
say
okay
tonight.
when you could get away with it, you know, and people had to.
True.
Yeah,
We're going to have to watch Lewis too.
Oh, yes,
Remember
we'll be
Lewis?
careful.
Yeah. We'll have
Yes.
to put him on
Oh,
a
yes.
few
There'll be
little
no swearing.
cautions
This is
there.
it now.
Here we go. Dear Mitch and guests, can someone please explain to me what precisely it is that is so good about marriage after the initial glow years? My husband and I have been married for 32 years, have brought up 3 kids who are all off our hands now, and a delight whenever they drop in or we gather. The problem is, once the kids disappear after the visits or get-togethers, we're left on our own, and what a boring time it is. Not only have we exhausted all our conversation after all this time, but we have to put up with each other's bad habits. On a good day, he snores, farts, burps, sleeps, eats and leaves mess everywhere, except in his neat and tidy shed where I wish he'd spend most of his time. As for me, I'm sure I grate on him as much as he does on me, but as far as I know, except for sleeping and eating, I exhibit none of his horrible habits. What am I missing? What's the key to a happy marriage after the kids have left? And please don't give me the rediscovering one another stuff, because after all this time, the only thing I've yet to discover about my hubby is that he's actually a millionaire international spy who trained as a nuclear physicist. Not. We bore each other stupid. Barbara from Clovelly, New South Wales. Marcus, how long have you been married?
About a third of the 32, so I'm not quite qualified to speak about the length of this marriage, but what I can say is that despite all these problems, it doesn't sound like he's left you out financially with regards to looking after you or cheated on you. But one thing I did notice in this letter, and it is fair to him part of the female DNA, as far as I know, except for sleeping and eating, I exhibit none of these horrible habits. I mean, any danger of a woman at some point in a relationship saying, yes, I'm in the wrong, I'm sorry. So this is all stuff from home from today. But
Does your missus snore, or can't you tell us on that?
Oh, I think we should keep that to
no,
ourselves.
but I have been accused in the more recent times of starting to snore now. That's I can understand that would be hardships. But of all those issues that she's come across, yeah, the 3 kids growing up, great to have them back. But she also has to try and work. I know it says reinvent, but you do have to try and find things to do together. Or otherwise, leave and take half the house and off you go.
After 32 years, anything would be hard work. Jeez, even your
Of
job.
course.
After 3 years I'm at this level, what have I got to look forward to?
Oh, God,
Hang on,
please
you
don't
can
say
answer this
that.
one. Do you snore?
No, absolutely not. And I don't fart, I don't do any of those things.
Yes, of
But
course.
you know what I think? I think that this person's just being very honest. I think the majority of people actually feel like this. I feel like this after 3 years. It's boring. But
sad.
I know.
Why do you get married
but-
then? If
Well,
it's
I married the same bugger twice, didn't I? So I mean, hello.
that was smart.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You're
Hello.
up for another divorce.
I
after that.
Yeah, after this one.
But I just think I think there's only so much you can explore about each other after 32 years, surely.
True, but why do you have
No,
to
I don't
explore each
agree.
other? Why can't you bring other things that are just as rich into the relationship?
Well, what I think.
Go outside and explore, bring it back.
What my husband and I do, and we're such a good example, is yes we are, is that we actually have our own lives. We just do our own thing. We come home, we have dinner together, we'll have a chat. Don't wait for him to entertain you. Do it yourself.
Does that work really well?
It is perfect. Hence, we got divorced and remarried.
Not
So
bad.
it's
And
not-
remarried.
And remarried.
How long have you been? How long have you been remarried?
Remarried now, coming up 3 years.
Better second time around?
Say yes, please, for God's sake. Say yes.
Absolutely. I swear by it.
Des?
Yeah,
What's
look.
going on here?
Well, reading this letter, poor old Barbara, I actually feel this upsets me. I feel really sad for her. I think it's a sad letter.
Why are you sad for her?
Because she sounds so lonely and unhappy in this marriage.
She's
and
just a sourpuss.
but it's not
She should
her-
get off a bum and
it's
go and
not
do something
up
about
to
it.
her husband to make her happy.
Yes.
They've been together for
Agreed.
32 years. Why can't Barbara find happiness in this relationship? You know, okay, she jokes around about the snoring, the farting, and the burping. I mean, she makes it funny, but it's not a joke. It's not. It's really sad that she is so lonely in this marriage that she can't derive any pleasure from it.
What do you think would make Barbara happy? Because
I
that's
think
what she
Barbara
has to
obviously,
figure out
well,
first,
Barbara needs a life. Barbara needs to find other interests and find other things to make her happy and not expect her husband to continually do that for her.
She's put up with him for 32 years, so it
Exactly.
can't
You
be a
don't
bad
throw
sign.
away 32 years of marriage and why upset all the kids and the grandchildren and destroy an entire dynasty.
She's blaming him for being
yeah,
bored.
she is. She's blaming him.
Come on,
it's not
Max.
his fault.
How long have you been married,
Right.
Max?
I've been married 5 years, and these are happy years. I mean, really. I mean, happy, very happy. But I want to tell you something, Barbara. Get this. All women snore, fart, and burp. They may not do it exactly in front of you. They may not force it out as men do, but they do it, nevertheless, because you wouldn't be natural if you didn't do it. But let me tell you something. Let me show you the other side of the coin. You love having your children there. You love having your family. You think it's a great idea. Get divorced and watch what happens. You'll be living in a one-bedroom flat, and your family won't be able to come because there's no room for them there. The other side of it is really, really gloomy. Get an interest, for God's sake. Go out, do things. Go and sit in a restaurant, and if you can't talk to each other, talk about other people at the other table. My wife does that. We sit and look at other people. My wife said, that man there, he's away from his wife, and she makes up stories about these things. Great fun, if
Well,
you've
she
got to
should
do
go
that.
and do some
But it's not
volunteer work. Go
exactly.
help somebody
Plenty of
else.
people
Yeah.
need your help. and your husband will become more interested because you're a different person and stop doing all that all the time.
Good on you,
Go
Maxie.
get a life.
There you go, Barbara of Clavelli. Some sound advice from all of our panellists who say it's your fault, honey. And next we're talking about the same thing, civil war or secession. When we come back, don't go away. You're a cheat. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to the address that's about to appear on the screen, which is letters at sweetandsour.net.au. It'll land right here. What? It's not
No, it's not.
Now you know why I get it confused so many times, because it changes every second bloody week around here. There it is, one more time, letters at sweetandsour.net.au. And if you are successful and we do read it out, we're going to send you to the movies, courtesy of the very gorgeous Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And the movie we're sending you to this week is Matching Jack, starring Jacinta Barrett, James Nisbet and
Richard Roxburgh.
Good voice
Come
there.
on down.
Good cast.
Do-do-do-do.
Very good cast.
Good cast. Here we go. Hello, Sweet and Sour. I think it's high time Queensland and Western Australia seceded from the rest of Australia. These two states are the economic powerhouse of this nation, and the other states just bleed us to fill up their coffers. Imagine the level of abundance that could be enjoyed by all in WA and Queensland if they both seceded. They could become one nation or two separate nations, each being totally self-sufficient. And the greatest advantage is that none of those out-of-touch so-called wise people from Canberra could stick their noses in our business again. Come on, it's a simple vote and that's it. I just don't know why we haven't gone down this path already. I understand WA voted in 1933 to leave the Commonwealth. Come on, panel, give the secession direction a push, and it comes to us from Frank of Cloverdale in where else? Western Australia.
Local.
Surprise, surprise. Maxie, you've got a little bit of a leaning towards secession.
Yeah, Frank, I somewhat agree with you. I mean, look, I don't believe in secession. I think sometimes you should do that to scare them. Because we don't get a fair deal, and probably neither does Queensland. We are the powerhouse, we are certainly the powerhouse of Australia, and we certainly supply money and impetus for the failures of New South Wales particularly, and Victoria, which is true. And I think that's right, but I do believe that it's a kind of thing, united we stand, divided we fall. I believe that if we do split up, as a country, we would be less than perfect. So what we have to do is try and get a better deal for Western Australia, make things happen. You've been seeing it in all the recent ads. We need a better deal for Western Australia. We must get our fair share of GST, and when we do that, we should be happy with our lot here.
There you go. I have a very good mate in a chap by the name of Greg Craven, Professor Greg Craven.
I know Greg, yes.
And he's Australia's expert on secession, and says it is impossible because there's only two ways you can do it. And that is for a referendum to succeed, where you need the majority of people and the majority of states. So New South Wales and Victoria and South Australia are never going to agree to us disappearing, and the two states combined, Western Australia and Queensland, don't even make a quarter of the population, so we're not going to pass the test. And the other way is the illegal way, is to have civil war. And no one that I know would go to war over a greed factor. There's no moral principle here, it's just a matter of money.
Oh, that was very nice. Exactly.
Having killed the discussion, Despene, what have you got?
After all of that, after Professor Craven's, knowledgeable words, I mean, the only thing I would say is it's not only is it not possible because no one had ever voted in, but what do you do about infrastructure? I mean, we get our own defence force? Do we get our own health
all
system?
Those considerations.
Do we get our own Medicare? I mean, it just couldn't possibly work. It just wouldn't work.
Viable.
So, Frank of Cloverdale, great idea, love, and I think we all agree with you, but wishing might make it so.
Aren't Western Australians, and really Queenslanders as well, a little bit too comfortable to think about taking up arms and going into civil war?
Look, I grew up in Victoria. I think this is a load of rubbish. How dare you?
Of course you would.
Get that woman off this panel.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Hang on. If Victoria was a powerhouse, and Melbourne's a fantastic place to live.
Oh, best city in Australia.
Best city in the... Would you think about secession and having the country of Victoria?
Well, look, I've I've got to be brutally honest and say I thought this letter was a little bit serious for me. I read it and went, what the hell is secession? I didn't know whether or not to agree or disagree with you, Frank. But no, I just, look, in all, you can't really, so you can't split this fabulous nation up. We're a nation. We work together. We're Aussies, aren't we?
Mate, I've got to tell you, coming out of all the politicians has been nothing but uninspired crap. That's fantastic. I'll vote for you.
Thank you. Thank you, First Generation Australia.
Vote one, Theresa. Marcus, give us the wrap on this one.
Oh, look, I love the us against them being Western Australian involved in sport, but
how's your football tipping going?
No good, no good. But I also very proud Australian. When you hear the national anthem played, can't help but feel proud. Look, we are a country that diverse and all the infrastructure arguments are terrific. Look, in WA, unfortunately, we can't even get shopping hours sorted, daylight saving, or a stadium to house sport. How the hell are we going to secede? No.
Even Ballarat has a 24-hour Coles.
Does it really? Ballarat does.
Ballarat has a 24-hour Coles.
When did you push your shopping trolley
can't
down
even
Coles
get
in
one here.
Ballarat? When were you there?
That's where I grew up.
We
What?
labelling
And
that
it
as
had-
a supreme necessity.
It had 24 hours back then.
That's what we're aspiring
We're
to.
aspiring
Are you
to
serious?
24
24
hours,
hours.
Coles.
Wow.
Absolutely. When you're a working woman with family, you need a
Want
bit
choice.
more
We
lenient.
want choice.
You want
I'm talking
choice.
this is
There you go, Frank. We're not seceding. We're all going to Coles.
Yeah, we'll go to Coles instead.
And when we come back, we're talking about whether females are living in a fantasy world in the younger generation or not. Don't go away when we come back.
Interesting one.
Interesting one. But a lot of guys.
Hello.
Oh, everyone
We're
is.
watching Sweden's Out,
Everyone
featuring
is.
me.
What, in
It's
the
not
fantasy
just,
world?
it's not just female.
Welcome back, and here we go. Hi, panellists. How realistic are the aspirations of people today? I kind of figure that I'm an exception because I'm aiming to work hard and be successful. I'm also completing professional requirements before becoming a qualified accountant. My girlfriend has her head firmly in the clouds. She wants to be a rock chick or a movie star or a supermodel. Basically, she just wants to be famous. Her mates are just the same. At 24, you'd think they'd all be a little bit more responsible for themselves and their future. But nope. They just want to waste every penny they currently earn, which isn't much, because they all believe they're destined for bigger things. So I need some advice on how to convince my girlfriend that she has to be a little bit more realistic, or perhaps you think that I'm the one that needs to follow some unrealistic and unattainable goal and that they have the right twist on life. We've been together for 3 years and she hasn't matured at all in all this time. Although it would be hard, I'd leave her in a flash if I thought there were girls out there who have it all together, but I've never met any. And it comes to us from Dane of North Adelaide. Theresa, what do you reckon of this bloke?
Oh, Dane, you're a pain, isn't he? Listen to him.
Dane, you're a pain.
Dane,
you're a poet.
Dane's a dick, let's be honest.
Yes, I'm with you. Well, number one, misogynistic pig. But I have to say, being an acting agent, I do come across these people all the time as well.
Really?
So I do kind of get where he's coming from, in a way. I've got to put up with people wanting to be famous every day of my life.
Of course you do.
Oh,
Hang on,
grief.
is that just a young thing? Do they mature out of it? Or, do you have 50-year-olds walking in
Oh.
saying, I'm destined for fame and fortune?
I've got to be honest and say it's all ages.
Really?
It's all ages. It is quite extraordinary. It's quite extraordinary. But in saying that, you go, well, seriously, get out of the relationship if that's what you think about the poor girl.
Question. Do they stay in that frame of mind or do they grow up?
Oh, some stay in that frame of mind. Some definitely do. And look, I've got to that point now where I'm brutally honest with people. I go, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Past
so
it.
I'm not the right person for you. Let's move on. But you read this and you go, come on, Dane, you nutcase.
Yeah.
I don't particularly like Dane. Sorry, Dane.
Don't like
You
Marcus.
don't like me.
Is there a case for a dreamer?
Well, as we said, Kenny Rogers don't fall in love with a dreamer going back many years.
He has.
Well, he has, but also, look, luckily for him, he's got himself a career that he's heading towards being an accountant, and good luck to him. And at 24, she, like most people at that age, or many people, hasn't quite worked out what she wants to do with her life. And if she's got aspirations to do something in the media, or certainly something high profile, then at 24, I don't think you can shut her out completely from that ambition. She's still a young person.
Why would you want to?
So look, at best, I'd suggest that that he should at least support her. If not, then then walk away and find himself something that might be more attuned to his maturity, because he's sounds like he's going to be high maintenance himself.
I'm saying another accountant. He needs another accountant.
Oh, wouldn't that be a boring relationship? Max, dreamers are the people who have progressed the world.
They are, they're dreamers. But look, in my day, and it makes me sound very, very old, but in my day, when you were a dreamer and you wanted to achieve something, you wanted to be something, you wanted to be a big name, as I did. You wanted to be a big name and never made it. But, but yeah, well, Max Kay is a very short name, as you can see. But if you, that's a good one, Maximilian. Even.
Yes, Maximilian.
But at least people had talent before they did that. Nowadays, we've got this is a phenomenon. We've got people who have no talent whatsoever. We've got people like Paris Hilton, and unfortunately, the young model themselves on people like Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton has got no talent whatsoever, except that she comes from a very well-connected family. The Hiltons are a very, very well-connected people, and she is an A-lister. So suddenly she becomes a star, a celebrity, for absolutely no reason other than her name. That's all she's got. And she gets up to a few hijinks. Now, unless you want to go out and your girlfriend wants to go out and make a name for herself by sleeping with a footballer, or sleeping with the Prime Minister, or sleeping with one of his ministers, or even me, then she's not going to become famous. I mean, it's just not going to happen. You're kidding yourself on. Unless you have a talent, something you're really good at, you're never going to do it. So you should move on. Incidentally, the accountant, you've had a charisma bypass. I can see it. Because you've had nothing going. You've really got nothing going for you. So go out and find somebody equally as boring.
Last word on this from a woman.
Well, what can I say? I just think that, as Max said, I mean, this guy, they don't belong together. These two do not belong together. No. She obviously is a dreamer,
grow up too.
but he doesn't tell us what she wants to be famous at. We don't know whether she has any talent at all. Does she want to just go on?
Is that the sort of
Everybody wants to be famous. Why do you think Paris Hilton can be a big name?
I think everybody wants to be famous.
Because she's got no talent. But everybody goes, I want to. She's a brand.
She's
Yeah,
a brand.
she's a brand.
Very
She's a brand.
clever.
She's
been. I
gets
think
herself into newspaper
I have
one
to
way
say
or
that
another.
I admire her. She has created
Something
something
out
out
of nothing,
of nothing.
Something out of nothing.
Something
She's got
out
no
of
talent
nothing.
and she's worth a fortune. She
Yeah.
started out with a bit,
But I
though.
think anyone with that amount of money could be something. You know
Of
what
course
I mean?
you can.
In all
Yeah.
honesty, I think if you've got that amount of money, you can generate your own hype and all
Get a
that
few
sort of
pornos
stuff.
under your
If she
belt
was
and away you go.
exactly, if she was from a poor family,
It's all
I would
about
go,
marketing.
That's what she did, Despene.
It was a video. It was a.
It was a
video
video,
that
a sleazy
launched-
video.
That launched her into. Well, there you go. Hello, Brie Maddox.
Despene, do we like hello? Do we like this letter to give away the pair of limited edition sunnies, courtesy of
I
Alan
don't
Treves and Aussie
know.
Optical?
we
You
can't
don't know?
give it today.
No, I don't want to
Don't,
give it
don't,
today.
don't,
I think we'll
give
give
it
it
to
to
the
the
boring lady at
the
the
moaning
beginning.
housewife.
Moaning
Barbara,
Marcus,
poor
the
Barbara.
moaning housewife?
Yeah.
Nothing goes better than a moaning housewife on a Monday night.
All right, coming out to Barbara of Clavelli, New
Come
South
on, that'll
Wales, the
cheer you
moaning
up. Put your
housewife.
sunglasses on, Barbara. Go out and
I want
see
you to
some
moan
life.
when you make love. Oh, what a day I've had with the kids.
We've got to go. Good night, Marcus.
Thank you, Mitch. Always a pleasure, and just learning from Max about the entertainment. I'm going to dress like Max as well. I'm a bit too casual.
I want to be famous.
Good night, Theresa.
Good night, Gary.
Good to have you back. Make sure you're onto the vitamin C so we can have you back next week and the week after and the week after. Sure, no problem.
Not a problem.
Des, happy name
Thank
day
you.
from my mother as well.
Oh, thanks, Mitch. And thanks, Auntie Anne.
What do you say? Name day.
Name day.
Name day.
Name day.
Name.
day.
Saints.
Name day.
Oh,
Name.
Saints name. We're
Name.
gonna
Oh,
go.
name.
Good night, Maxie.
Good night.
Good night, Max.
See it.
Thank our terrific
Boys and
panellists.
girls.
Thank our wonderful crew. And good night, Australia. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.